whatever you wind up doing is exactly what you should be doing.
And I have not behaved one single day of my life. Not one day of my life have I behaved, and I am fine.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're going to hurt some people.
Whose car are we going to take?
Happy Friday. Thank you to everyone. I'm hoping you can hear me. The reason why we're delayed is, and hopefully tell me in the chat if you can't hear me, because Kim McAllister can't hear me for some reason. I'm really hoping she's trying to figure it out. So let me know in the comments if you can hear me, because Kim apparently was not able to. So we were really doing some testing. I'm not seeing anybody saying they cannot hear me. So, Kim, if you... Natalie says we can hear you. So, Kim, it's on your side. Perfect. Okay. So I'm glad that you guys can hear me, because I was really worried. I want Kim to be able to hear me so she understands, what the hell is going on. But happy Friday, guys. Thanks for joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show. We have a fun show planned. We're going to start off with this big storm story that's really a Southern California story, although we'll feel the humidity. It's already warm in my house right now. And so, no, I'm not batting down the hatches, but I am concerned, for our friends down in Southern California. If it makes landfall, it's historic. A tropical storm touching, but again, we're not too worried about it, but there is a flood risk down in Southern California. And again, because of what we've seen in Maui, which started because of the hurricane system out there, the high winds and everything that led to the tragedy out there. We're just keeping our eye on any sort of storm story that's happening right now. We will, of course, touch on the situation in Maui. And if you haven't heard, the latest is that Maui's emergency manager has resigned due to health reasons. My heart goes out to the guy. I'll play a little bit. I think Mark played a little bit, or Kim did in her news yesterday, of that press conference. There was a CBS reporter that was actually the guy that was really pressing Amada about why he did not sound the alarm. And I'm sorry, it's Andaya. That's his name. Herman Andaya was the emergency management administrator. And, the CBS reporter was really pressing him, like, don't you think that sounding it would have helped a little bit? And he was saying, no, we have trained our residents to think of that siren to deal with tsunamis and to head toward the mountain. So we'll get into that. And health reasons has to be mental health reasons. I get even choked up thinking about how he must feel. I wish, that we would be understanding. I understand the criticism, and I understand, it could, Monday morning quarterbacking is a really easy thing to do. But I can't imagine what this guy is thinking when he looks at Lahaina and he understands the tragedy, and then people are pointing the finger at him. So I'm sure he's doing the same thing. It's a tough call. It is a day in the Bay yesterday, turning on the news and hearing that there was a stabbing at a San Jose high school really pissed me off. School just started and we had one of the kids has life-threatening injuries. It's just the stories coming out of school are the negative ones starting way too early. Not only was there a stabbing at a San Jose high school, did you hear about Oakland? So school board candidates are now being told they're ineligible because there was an error on the election work, the boundaries of making you eligible to run. So they don't have anyone running. It is just so upsetting that these people can't get it together. We will touch on Trump. We always have to touch on Trump. We don't like to, but we have to. So Trump is not going to have this press conference, right, where he's going to disclose all of these things. Who knows if he's going to do the debate, because I'm sure his lawyers are like, we don't trust you. We don't trust that mouth of yours to do anything. But then, of course, DeSantis is egging him on. And I think that it's completely appropriate for DeSantis to egg him on. Because I think if you're the front runner of the race, you should be at the debate. And then if you're not, people can make all kinds of stories about why you're not there. So we'll touch on that. And do you want to see Trump on the debate stage? Because on one hand, it could really rile up the base again, even more. But two, do you think it's going to put him in a good light? I think it's not, but who knows? You know, people's fascination with this guy just blows my mind. It is Friday, so we're going to do a Friday food. And yes, I cooked. I did make the thing I've been eating all week long. I can't have one more left. And you'll know it when I do it in about 15 minutes or so. I can't stop eating it. I'm telling myself that what I'm eating is good for me. You guys tell me after I show you my recipe if this is a healthy thing to be eating every single day. Eggos is in the news regarding some food. They're getting into the liquor business. Yes, Eggo. Like, oh, my Eggo waffle. Excuse me. They're getting in to the liquor business. Now, the San City of San Francisco is asking the CPUC to pump the brakes on robotaxis. Now, we know the story about what happened last weekend where, you know, all these robotaxis after outside lands just stopped. This is my question when we talk about it. I want people pro and con on robotaxis. Are we asking for this? Are people really asking to be driven in cars without drivers? What need are robotaxis addressing? Because it's not as if they're removing cars from the road. I mean, you could say Uber, right? Uber, Lyft, if that's the road you go down. So if it's not removing cars, it's just removing the drivers, then I'm kind of thinking as this is a jobs killer. Like, why are some people, I'm not going to include myself in this because I've never ridden in a robotaxi. I think it's unnecessary. But what need is it addressing besides the fact that it's taking jobs away from human drivers? And if you're going to go the safety route, I don't think we're ready for that, but you guys can let me know in the comments. There is some other sciencey kind of stories, those blue light glasses that many parents, including myself, were buying for kids because they're on the computer all the time. Well, new research shows it is literally a waste of money. They do not work. And then, of course, Tim Sika will be here. Tim Sika tells us what we can watch and stream this weekend. And you guys tell me, is there anything you're watching or streaming that we've missed? I was talking about Good Omens, I think last week or the week before, the second season. So good. I am telling you, I did not see the ending of Good. Can you hear me?
I can. It was my fault, not yours, obviously.
I was so worried. Okay, well, hold on. And the Good Omens. So let me know in the comments if there's something you're watching and streaming. I just finished Heartbreaker, which I've mentioned before. And I just finished, they just have the finale of The Summer I Turned Pretty. Yes, I know these are all like YA type of shows, except Good Omen. I love that crap. So if there's anything, let me know in the comments.
Don't think my daughter and I didn't gather in front of the TV to watch The Summer I Turned Pretty last night.
Okay, so hold on. If anybody hasn't watched it, but if you know what we're talking about, are you Team Jeremiah or are you Team Conrad?
This is difficult. I waffle back and forth. Julia says, I'm team Belly, stop acting like this and pitting brothers against each other. That's what I'm team. I'm team
so good.
Pick one and stick with it. But I kind of like Conrad the best. But I go back and forth. I can't pick. They're so cute.
I exactly. Well, one, they're not cheap, but I'm not going to give any spoilers of Good Omens either, but I am telling you, Good Omens, the ending never saw coming. But as The Summer I Turned Pretty, it was the finale. I could never decide when the season was going to end. But yeah, I don't know which side I'm on. But I'm kind of leaning toward she wants to be with Conrad, but he has all kinds of issues. It's kind of like that James Deany kind of like brooding kind of guy. Yeah. And I don't know why girls find that sexy, but we apparently do. Okay, so a ton of stuff to get into. Kim's going to do some headlines. We are going to touch on the hurricane. We are going to touch on Trump. But before we get to any of that, please click the thumbs up button to show your support of the show. It helps us out. It promotes the show on YouTube and the way that their algorithm runs. The super chat, of course, is live. And of course, our friend Harry has started us off with a $5 Happy Friday.
Huge
Finally.
aloha, Harry. You're always so kind to us.
Thank you. I
so
just love
nice.
it. And honestly, every single dollar matters to us
Yeah.
because this is a 100% crowdfunded show. So thank you. But again, please sign up to be a Medorable. It's a one-time a month donation to the show through our Patreon. You become a monthly Patreon subscriber. I call you guys my Medorables. I do have a bunch of fun things coming. I have a list. Since it's Friday, Kim, and it is Friday food, I'll give you guys a little tease. I've been telling you that I'm working on a Nikki's favorite box, and we're going to raffle it off during the month of September, and then I'll give it away. I'm loading it up with ideas. Well, I have ideas and stuff, but I'm working, Kim, on a little recipe book of all of the things that I've either created or I've found online and I've done during our Friday food segments. So I'm going to have that. There's going to be a lot of personal things since it's a Nikki box, and things
You're
that
kind
I
of like Oprah with the favorites, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And so it's taking me some time to kind of figure out what I want to include in the box, and we'll do this periodically. It's a lot harder to come up with my favorites. I'll also tell you that depending on who wins the box, you may be able to get it personally delivered by myself. I have some ideas with that as well. Some fun ideas.
If you live in the South Bay, you'll get a personal delivery.
I'll go up to San Francisco. I will definitely.
If you live in Petaluma, forget it.
Well, no. If you live in Petaluma and you win this, I'm definitely going to go because then myself and Kim McAllister can meet up
together.
with you. We'll go together. Hell yeah. So I'm thinking the Bay Area. You have to be in the Bay Area. I have listeners. We have listeners very far away. I'm not going to Oregon. I'm not going to Southern California. I love you. I'll mail it to you. Okay.
Bay Area proper, maybe. Yeah.
Bay Area proper. There you go. Right. So, but yeah, it's going to be a raffle. We'll start it next month. I'll give some teases. I don't want to give everything away that's in the box, but I am working on it. I'm loading it up, and that's going to start sometime in September. So yeah, but anyways, sign up to be a Medorable. TheNikkiMedoroShow.com. Become a monthly Patreon subscriber. It helps us out. I've been getting donations through our PayPal as well because I know some of you like to do it that way. There's the email, and that's also the email to reach me, TheNikkiMedoroShow@gmail.com. We have links to our merchandise shop at the show's official website, TheNikkiMedoroShow.com. It's another way to support us. Oh, and just because I'm looking through all of our banners, can I just say a big congratulations to Maureen Langan? If you haven't heard and you don't follow her on social media, she has officially been in she's going to be on the next round.
She's on the America's Got Talent again. Round 2 is what.
Yes, it's round 2. It's kind of beyond the tryouts to get on it, to the whole voting. So she's actually going to be on the show because what I didn't realize, this is behind the scenes stuff. Even if you get the go ahead from the judges, initially, not everybody makes it to the next episode. So obviously they love Maureen. So we'll continue to update that and when she's on and everything like that. But it's just very, very exciting. And so I want to take a moment to congratulate our friend Maureen Langan. Okay, let's do some headlines. I am sure that some of the stuff that Kim has in her headlines, I will be adding to because there's a lot of big stories having to do with one, Hurricane Hilary, the Maui devastation, and of course, Donald Trump. And again, let us know in the comments what you're watching because Tim Sika will join us near the end of the show. And here's Kim with the news.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
As search and rescue teams are still looking for more than 1,000 people missing on the island of Maui. At least 111 people are confirmed dead. Hawaii Governor Josh Green is saying our hearts will break beyond repair if the 1,300 people missing turn out to be dead. Officials say the full extent of devastation from the deadliest wildfire in modern U.S. history might not be known for some time. And of course, yesterday we saw the Maui official that was in charge of emergency operations did resign from his job after criticism that the air raid sirens were not used. And there was a pretty heated press conference where he was asked about it and stood up and said, no, I would not have turned those sirens on, because they would have had people run up the mountain toward the fire thinking there was a tsunami.
Exactly. Can I just play a little bit of the press conference now?
Please.
A lot of people saw the oh darn it, where did I put it? A lot of people saw the press conference and that heated exchange that was happening, right, between the emergency manager, and it turned out to be a CBS reporter that was the one questioning him.
Yeah.
And my heart kind of goes out to the emergency manager, because look, decisions have to be made kind of like in a split second. And the problem is that when you make the wrong one, everybody can see it happening. And so Monday morning quarterbacking is something that happens all the time. You know what? I'm going to get the video queued up because I accidentally shut it down, but it's going to be from the CBS reporter's position. And when I play it after Kim's news, you tell me, was it right to ask these questions? Because I do feel it on both sides, right? I do feel like people that saw it and didn't hear any warning are justified, but at the same time, do you think that he purposely did that?
I don't think he wanted people to die, but
Right.
I also think that he's likely incompetent and didn't have the experience to be, you have someone who was working for a Hawaiian official, the governor's office, given this cushy job, thinking I don't have to do anything but babysit it, right? So you have someone without experience who then, when push comes to shove and is in the position to have to make a snap decision, makes the wrong one. In my mind, it's always better to warn people something's going on rather than no warning at all. And flames moved a mile a minute. And you don't think, I mean, maybe he's never been in a wildfire before, like all of California, but the minute you step out of your home, maybe even the minute you hear the warning, your senses are up, you smell the wildfire smoke. The minute you step out of your house, you smell the wildfire smoke. They wouldn't have run toward the fire. They would have been like, oh, fire.
Not that
this
way.
feels
Yeah.
hot. I got to go the other way. I mean, it just boggles the mind that you would say no siren is better than the wrong siren. Any warning would have been better.
Okay, and I found the video. I'm going to play it for you real quickly because it kind of goes with what you just mentioned, Kim, about not only what people would have done, but sadly where the bodies were found. So here is this report from CBS.
As fires smoldered, then erupted into an inferno that destroyed the town of Lahaina last week, CBS News has learned that the island's emergency management administrator wasn't on Maui, but was attending a conference on an entirely different Hawaiian island.
Herman Andaya.
Speaking to reporters for the first time Wednesday, Herman Andaya defended his decision not to activate Maui's warning sirens.
Do you regret your decision, and have you considered handing over the reins to somebody with more experience?
Say that I am not qualified, I think, is incorrect.
On Thursday, Maui County's mayor accepted Andaya's resignation, saying in a statement, given the gravity of the crisis we are facing, my team and I will be placing someone in this key position as quickly as possible.
Do you regret not sounding the sirens?
I do not. And the reason why, and
so many people said they could have been saved if they had time to escape. Had a siren gone off, they would have known that there was a crisis emerging.
The sirens, as I mentioned earlier, is used primarily for tsunamis. The public is trained to seek higher ground in the event that the siren is sounded.
Survivors we spoke with say they believe activating the sirens could have saved lives.
I think any warning would have been extremely helpful, even if it just got us to come out of our homes and our condos.
Meanwhile, new details are emerging on the fire's origin. It began first as a small spot fire at 9:30 a.m. It was fully contained and firefighters left. Sometime before 3:30 p.m., the wind rekindled the fire. It burned for more than 2 hours before reaching town.
Do you think that the sirens would have saved more lives?
Hard to say. I'm certain that there would have been a net benefit.
Todd Maglioka is leading one of the 28 search and rescue task forces combing through Lahaina and collecting human remains.
This is the part.
Where are you finding most of the remains lately as you continue your search?
Anywhere where there's a bed.
Anywhere where there's a bed?
A bed.
People were asleep.
People were asleep. People were in various stages of fleeing their location.
So, I mean, that's the part that just really stuck out to me is like what you mentioned, Kim. If you step out your door Even if you're trained to go to higher ground, if you're looking at the higher ground and be like, there's a fire right there, obviously no one's going to run that direction. So on that, I agree with you. Now,
it's like no one has common sense.
Right.
Common
It's not
sense.
as if we're going to do
It's
that.
like, you think that as a person who walks out of my house who smells fire, I'm going to run toward the heat? Really? How about giving me a heads up so I can, I don't know, run toward the water? Whether I survive that is anybody's guess, but at least I got a shot.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I think it is justified. I guess as a human, I don't think that this guy wanted what happened to happen. I don't think he was like, you know what, screw those people. You know, and so the whole health reasons, I would say it's a mental health thing. It's living with, and I'm not even kidding. I mean, serious mental issues I'm sure this guy is going to go through. When you look at your town incinerated, bodies of people in their bed still, and people are saying you could have saved some people if you would have made a different decision. I can't imagine living with myself. And so my heart does go out to this guy, whether he was right or wrong. It does. And maybe, yeah, they obviously do need somebody else in that position because.
Well, the reason that's key in my mind is because now, because they didn't learn the lessons of California and take what we learned, and use and implement it there, they're going to have to make a lot of changes.
Yeah.
So even if he's not involved in the rebuilding effort, he will need to be that he or she in that position will now need to be involved in what better ways will we have to warn people?
Yeah.
What better ways will we have to fight fire? This is the Office of Emergency Services, right? So now they need to figure out, okay, when we rebuild, we need our streets wider. We need a dedicated emergency lane. We need not only sirens, we need, this backup plan and this backup plan.
Have something
and fire boats.
Fire, new tsunami,
So there needs to be someone from California helping advise. Here's what happened to us. Here's what we did that has worked for us so far. And they need to have someone with experience to go, maybe partner with someone on the island that has a bit of experience to work together to put it into place. But you have someone who he says, I'm experienced because I attended a few conferences. I don't think so, pal. I don't think so. And I think the people of Hawaii and people here on the mainland like myself are justified in being, if not angry, incredibly frustrated.
Well,
And
I mean, he was hired by somebody. I mean, the governor. I mean, look at the governor or whoever appointed him. I mean, it trickles up,
Yeah, because he had worked for the governor. So that everyone thinks these jobs are like, oh, cushy, like you don't have to do much until the S hits the fan.
Exactly.
I don't blame on a personal level, but I think that on a professional level, they could have had someone in there that had a lot more knowledge and would have taken steps. You need someone that has the mindset of my husband, which is a catastrophizer, right? Some people are like, everything's fine until 5 minutes before something's wrong.
Right.
That's me. I'm not much of a planner. I'm kind of a go along to get along girl. I would have been horrible in that job. But then there's someone like my husband who looks around and he's like,
this
2
could
is
happen,
1,
that could
1 is
happen.
none. That's his thing. 2 is 1, 1 is none. What do we have to do in order to safeguard the family? He's got the earthquake preparedness kit. He's got, he's always looking at the worst case scenario of what could happen. And sometimes I'm like, dude, why are you so negative?
Chill
But when the S hits the fan, guess who's ready?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's the kind of person you need in that job.
See,
not
and that's
me.
why you're a good balance, right?
Right.
It's like someone's like to calm everyone down, like the world isn't burning down yet, and the other one's like, yeah, but it could. So let's prepare. So there you go.
Right.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, moving on. There's some fires burning in California right now too. I wanted to mention we have the highway fire in Nevada County, which is continuing to burn. The U.S. Forest Service Tahoe National Forest says this is a 35-acre fire, so it's kind of small. But those fires in the forest, the minute you look away, they've got it 10% contained right now. They have evacuation orders near the fire still in place. This one started Wednesday near the community of Washington. It's about 80 miles northeast of Sacramento. So, here's where we are. We got a small fire. We're on it, right? We're on it. Another one, this was the Reeder fire in Nevada County. And the evacuation orders are now being lifted there today. There were 3 fires. 2 of them are still burning near the Yuba River. Caltrans, they've still got State Route 20 closed between Newtown Road and Reeder Ranch Road, but it looks like they're getting a handle on this one. So
nice.
Huge. This is huge in the East Bay. Several Bay Area police officers are now facing charges after getting snared in a federal corruption probe. I mean, we knew it was going to be bad, but now the FBI is like, yeah,
crazy.
So federal prosecutors say 9 current or former Antioch and Pittsburgh police officers and 1 community service officer were charged with multiple counts yesterday. Prosecutors say the suspects committed civil rights violations and fraud in order to get a pay raise. They are also accused of using excessive force and lying to cover that up. This is allegedly the good guys. You know, they're supposed to be trusted. We're supposed to come to them in our time of need. And again, allegedly, they were the bad guys.
You know what's hilarious is I read one cop saying, you know, they didn't have to bust in my door. If they would have asked me to come out, I would have. And I'm like, oh, you mean like using excessive force against you? Isn't the pot calling the kettle black? Oh, you don't like it on the other side when the FBI is like, boom, 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 come out here.
No, like, it feels like a violation of your rights, does it?
Oh my God, what does that feel like? Freaking morons. Allegedly.
Here comes Hilary. Powerful Category 4 storm in the Pacific is prompted the first ever tropical storm watch for Southern California. The latest report from the National Hurricane Center puts the storm about 250 miles south of Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. The storm is expected to weaken before it hits Southern California and areas of the southwestern U.S. It'll still likely bring heavy rain and flooding to this region. And look at that map. We might get some of this rain as well. Weird to get summer rain. We're not going
it's going to be hot still.
We're not going to get hit as bad as Southern California.
No. And again, it could make history. I want to show you the last time there was a storm of this size that actually did damage and there were people living here was in 1939. Okay, so in 1939, a tropical storm with winds of up to 50 miles per hour made landfall near Long Beach. Downtown LA picked up almost 6 inches of rain, including nearly 4 inches, you know, in one day. Flooding caused $2 million of property damage. High winds surprised the shipping industry. It killed 45 people. 29 believed to be dead, according to this one, but I guess it grew to 45 people. They call this the Long Beach storm, and it took the Weather Bureau in San Francisco by surprise, and that's why they have an office because of this storm in Southern California. So there was another one back in 1858, but there's only like 4,000 residents living in the area at the time. So it's not as big. But yeah, 1939, the last time. So Hilary definitely could make history. We're, of course, still waiting for it. And it could happen. I think they said Sunday. Well, like Friday, it'll be here, but Sunday, possibly. But thankfully, we're cold water ocean on this side, you know? So once it hits cold water, it's just totally going to weaken. So that's a good point.
I know this is completely ridiculous, but as all the indictments fly against Trump, I love that like this and Hillary Clinton has said, I'm not gloating.
Oh, bullshit. Sorry.
I'm not.
She was on with Rachel Maddow the other day.
She's like, I'm not upset. I'm not gloating. I'm just sad for America.
She's so full of crap. She was laughing, smiling. If there was a definition of gloat, it would have been Hillary Clinton in that interview with Rachel Maddow. Because she was proven right. The debates, everything she said about him not accepting the results and all that. She's like, it's a mental illness for this guy, basically. Oh, no.
Well, she sat on a debate stage and warned us. She said, if he is elected, it will be horrible for this country. It'll be dangerous. She warned us.
And look around, people. Look around.
And she was probably one of the only people who understood on election night when she lost that it was more about the country than her. She knew what it meant. She was like, because she's really smart. She was like, this is bad. Bad.
I cried the day he was elected president, and everyone's like, why are you so upset? There. That's
Here it is.
Here it is.
But there's something cathartic about this anger, this whirling storm named Hilary. I know one thing has nothing to do with it.
No, but it is funny. The storm
imagery and the
Hilary.
symbolism delights me. Former Vice President Mike Pence says he hopes he has the chance to debate his former boss during next week's Republican presidential debate. But I don't think he's going to have the chance. While speaking at a conservative conference in Atlanta, Pence said he and former President Trump have real differences on policy. He says he's focused on pulling back spending, while Trump's plan to address the nation's debt is identical to President Biden's.
Look at
Okay,
that.
this is more about Trump having a silencer put on him, a muzzle put on him by his lawyers, because he was going to do this big exonerating conference, right?
Right.
On Tuesday, where all the evidence that proved that he was innocent of any election fix was going to be presented. He's being, told not to go to the debate. His attorneys are like, listen, if you open your face, this is going to be bad.
It's going to be used as evidence. Everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Like, shut up. Just shut up. You're making our lives more difficult.
I'm telling you. A United Kingdom court has found a nurse guilty of murdering 7 babies and trying to kill 6 others. I'm so sorry. I know it's the morning and this is awful.
I have not heard the story, but good morning.
It makes her the worst baby killer in modern times. Prosecutors say 33-year-old Lucy Letby's aim was to kill infants while having her colleagues think there was a natural cause of death. She injected air into their blood and stomachs, overfed them with milk, poisoned them with insulin, physically assaulted them. This according to Britain's Crown Prosecution Service. This is,
my God.
How do you
psycho.
Show total psycho? I don't know how you
No.
go to a place where you can hurt the innocent.
No. How do you look at it? I mean, I don't know how you look at anybody and want to kill somebody, right? I mean, I just don't, I can never, but an infant. I mean, if there was anything that symbolizes innocence, it is literally someone that's been alive for minutes, days, whatever. It's, how do you do something like that? Oh, how awful.
Yeah, really awful. A majority of Americans support the writers and actors strike. Many also have a negative view of Hollywood studios. A new poll by Data for Progress shows 2 in 3 American voters support the Writers Guild and SAG-AFTRA strikes. It also showed nearly half of respondents have an unfavorable view of major Hollywood studios. It's funny, I didn't realize my daughter was up on what was going on.
Oh, really?
And last night, after the Summer I Turned Pretty, I said, is there going to be, more? She's read all the books.
Yeah.
And
so my daughter.
She read the books, and I thought, and I reward her for reading the books. So this is a series that has some, some teen sex and drugs and whatever else. But we watched it. She read the books.
Not too bad.
It's fine. So we talk about it along the way. But she looked at me and goes, it's the writer's strike, Mom. It's going to be a while.
There you go.
But we'll get another season because I know what happens in the books and there's more of the story to tell. She said, we'll get another season, but it'll be after the writer's strike.
Yeah, it'll be, that's awesome. No, there'll definitely be one. There's one more season of The Summer That I Turned Pretty. If you want to watch it, it's on Prime. But yeah, my daughter read all of the books too. And so just to go off on this show, did you read the books?
I didn't.
So if you read the books, you would be a certain team, apparently. Like, it's way more clear because one of the guys did something that they did not include in the TV series. So my daughter is definitely on, I'll just say this, she's on team Conrad, which I don't know. But anyways, it's a very fun series to watch. We'll be talking all about that coming up before Tim Sika with the movies.
This week when I was filling in for you, I had a Trumpian moment. And it's just very unlike me.
How dare you?
But I had a wireless keyboard that wasn't working, and everyone was in here waiting for me to be on the show, and it wasn't working. And my real keyboard is now getting fixed to the tune of $300. And
this is a regular keyboard. You're paying $300 to fix it. Can't you just buy a new one?
Okay, I had a wireless keyboard.
Oh, I don't know.
And it wasn't connecting to the keyboard. I don't know. I had all kinds of problems. I don't know. So I got so frustrated that first I beat on the keyboard.
Because that helps.
Then I sent it flying. I mean, through the air, crashing into a bookcase.
With the ketchup and everything, ketchup and keyboard all together.
It was a total Trump. I don't do that, but I just got so like, so mad. Meanwhile, my husband was in here trying to help me fix my tech problems, and his mouth just dropped open. Like, I have never seen anything like this before in my whole life.
Good? I'm going to tell you this though. So I'm a door slammer. I have been a door slammer since I've been little. Like I am.
Really?
My dad is like, yeah, he's like, you have always been someone that when you're upset, you just slam.
Take it
doors.
out on the physical
I take it out.
Uh-huh.
I slam doors. I'm a hot-blooded woman like that. And so I am definitely like, and the problem in this house, and I'm not even kidding, is all the doors, the hinges are really loose. So you just like kind of do this and it slams.
Like,
and
this
so
is
I had
not a good door slamming house.
no, because my daughter was like shutting the door all the time and it was like slam. I'm like, why the hell are you slamming the door? She's like, I'm just shutting it, but it like slams all the time. So there is something cathartic, I'm just saying, about. Now you shouldn't destroy things, especially things that you would like to keep. But there is, I am a total supporter of getting it out in ways that are healthy, not beating, people or anything like that. So
the moment I threw it and I heard the crunch, I'm not gonna lie, it did feel like I had won this battle. But seconds later, I realized what a complete a-hole I looked like and felt like. Okay.
Oh, my friend, if only you knew the things that I do. I'm like, that's nothing. Are you kidding me right now? Like, that's fine. You'll be fine.
And so I come to this story
of
a United Airlines pilot who says he reached his breaking point earlier this month, prompting an outburst on parking equipment at the Denver International Airport.
Oh, no.
Now, see, prior to this keyboard incident, I wouldn't have felt his pain, but here it is. Video shows Kenneth Jones taking an axe to the arm of the parking gate at the airport's employee parking lot on August 2nd. Jones keeps swinging at the gate until the arm falls off. He then struggles with DIA employees until they manage to get the axe away from him. He was charged with misdemeanor criminal mischief after causing about $700 in damage to the gate, the wooden arm on the thing.
Right.
United Airlines says Jones was removed from the flight schedule pending an internal investigation. Oh,
that's
Mr.
hilarious.
Jones. Oh, like,
can
you imagine? Like, it won't open. You're exhausted from a long flight. Why won't things just function? You happen to have an axe in the car. I'm just saying.
So frustrating. And it can be like, there is nothing more frustrating. You know what also frustrates me is when technology fails you, right? And then you hurt yourself trying to make it work. If I hurt myself while trying to make something work, God help that item, because I will do exactly. If I had an axe, I would destroy it. If I injure myself in any way, stub my toe, cut my finger while I'm trying to make something work, God help you. It's dead. You're dead to me now. You don't exist. I will kill you. Like, that's it. That technology exists no more at all. I'm done.
The keyboard incident gives me empathy. And I will say that when he lowered the hammer on that gate arm, and saw the arm clatter to the parking floor garage, that probably felt good in that moment. Being tackled by the parking attendant staff, not so good. Being investigated by your place of employ for having a full-on mental breakdown. But I guess, okay, so if you're a pilot, you're supposed to be calm in times of crisis, right?
He's not flying at that point. He's not flying.
But you're supposed to have the temperament where in any given situation, you're calm, you're steady, you can handle it. Now, pilot versus parking arm, part 1.
Oh, I would have peed
Pilot
my pants.
wins.
If I was watching this whole thing, I would have peed my pants laughing, because I feel people. Like, honestly, I think one of my skills is empathizing with people who are very, very upset. I will be just as upset as you. If you're like, if I was in that room with you, Kim, and you were like so frustrated, and you threw it, I'm like, yeah, F that thing. Like, honestly, like, step on it. I would totally be with you.
Best friend in the world, right? I love that.
Like, screw that. Yeah, that thing is devil. Like, kill it. It's fine.
Like, so why wouldn't the parking lot attendant be that? Why do they have to
Yeah,
tackle them? Couldn't
like,
they
you see
just
how
been like,
frustrating this is.
I see how frustrated you are, sir. My apologies. Carry on and head on home.
Exactly. Like, do you not see how this thing is betraying me right now? Do you understand that the world is working against me? I deserve to beat the crap out of this thing.
We hate that
you.
parking arm too. It malfunctions
Oh.
every day. We don't know what the hell's going on.
I would have died.
Oh.
That is so funny.
Yeah, I'm telling you, given the keyboard incident of this week, I have complete empathy. I'm telling you, but I need to see the video. I must see the video. So this report is crowdfunded, which means we rely on you. I'm sorry, that's just hilarious.
Don't crap out of us, please. Just love us. That's
don't
all
make us mad. Yeah, don't make us mad. Just be here with us. Seriously, though, I have to say that I know there are a lot of people that can't help us fund the show, and I always feel so bad asking because I know that I don't want to make you feel guilty. It's
no, yes.
But I just appreciate you guys spending your morning with us. We are so glad to have you along. If you are so moved to support the show and you have the wherewithal, you can do it. Here's the website. I'll give you the information. It's NikkiMedoroShow.com. And you got the Patreon link and the PayPal link there. Of course, the Super Chat is open here on YouTube as well. So if you can, great. If you can't, please spend your time with us here. We love having you along for the ride. I'm Kim McAllister, and this is the Nikki Medoro Show.
And again, a thumbs up costs you nothing at all. So please make sure you've clicked that thumbs up. And again, thank you to Harry for donating and starting us off in the super chat. Beth also threw us a $10 super sticker. So thank you, Beth, so much. We appreciate you and we love you guys so very much. Okay. I mean, I'm still cracking up about the pilot thing. We're going to have to Google that. I did want to touch on.
I had to blow my nose. I'm crying.
I'm dying.
I laughed so hard I was crying.
That is too much. Okay. So you were talking about Trump in your news, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a muzzle is being put on this guy. All right. A muzzle is being put on. Oh, and thank you, Hula Steph, so much for the $5 super sticker. Mwah.
Yeah, thank you.
But now DeSantis, I'm telling you, if DeSantis and the rest of these freaking candidates are not capitalizing on the fact that Trump needs to be muzzled, they're morons and they don't deserve to freaking run. But DeSantis is calling Trump too weak to debate. And I love that he's using Trump's own words against him. DeSantis says, we need a nominee with stamina, which is something that Trump always would say about Biden, right? He's like, a nominee who's sharp. This is some ad campaign that Ron DeSantis, his super PAC, has put out. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you want to see Trump in a debate? Or do you there's part of me 100% I want to see him in a debate because one, I think it's going to get him into trouble, legal trouble. And two, if you're the front runner, you should be part of the debate. You should be laying out your plan. On the other hand, I feel like any press is good press for Trump, right? Any camera is good for him. And I don't want his campaign to benefit in any freaking way. I feel like it's just awful. And so we'll see. The debate is I had the date. When is the first? The first debate is August. I don't know. It's either next week or the week after that the first Republican debate is happening. So we will see. Ronna McDaniel, who is the RNC chairwoman, she says she, quote, has a feeling that the former president will sign the party's pledge to support the eventual GOP nominee. I don't know why, Ronna, you think that. I don't think he's going to do it. Vicky's like, I want to see him in the orange jumpsuit, not in the debate. Yeah, I
in the
agree.
orange jumpsuit too. So the first Republican presidential primary debate takes place in Milwaukee, August 23rd.
All right. And one more thing about Maui, by the way, there's a Masubi for Maui fundraiser. I believe it's going on in San Francisco. I might be wrong about the location, but you can Google that. I was getting alerts about that. And then Spam has been, obviously it's a staple of Hawaii. Spam is donating I don't know how they get this number, 264,000 cans of meat. I don't know if that's just what's in the case, but it's valued at more than $1 million and they're donating that. It'll be carried out by Convoy of Hope. It's a nonprofit organization. My kids, I don't know if it's just because we went to Hawaii recently or what. My kids have been obsessed with Spam lately. But my daughter, my son has been like a little chef lately. Like he's been making all kinds of stuff and actually cooking in the kitchen. And he's been eating Spam. But my daughter likes it Now it's pre-cooked, but she likes it raw. She doesn't she doesn't fry it up or anything, which I kind of find to be a little visually gross. But again, Spam it's delicious. They use it in musubi. A little bit of history. It was created before World War II, surged in popularity during the war thanks to its long shelf life. And of course, you can make musubi. They use it in all kinds of meals in Hawaii and all sorts of stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's what's Spam? It's spiced ham. That's what it's short for, I think. Spiced ham.
Yeah,
I believe.
I call it mystery meat, but yes, it it is the
Do you
more
eat it
Spam.
though?
I don't, but my family does, and they love Spam musubi.
Yes.
And they don't mind that it's so-called mystery meat, and they're
Right.
just scoop it up. I can't do it.
So I love that you're putting this up there. I emailed Steven, who's been on the show before, doing the ukulele. He never got back to me. So maybe we can, I know that this benefit.
Here's what happened. He was planning to come today.
Okay.
And I got a message this morning on Facebook, and he said, I was on, here's the message. Can we postpone? I took a bad spill on my electric skateboard yesterday. Thank goodness I was wearing a helmet. Landed head first going 18 miles an hour and hit a rock. Oh, so Steven Espanola is taking a rest day today.
Yeah, I would say so.
So I will promote this in his stead. This is the Kokua Maui concert. It is bringing the Bay Area's award-winning Hawaii musicians to join forces together to raise funds for Maui. So here you have at Berkeley's Freight and Salvage, which apparently has always been the home for Hawaiian music, Patrick Landeza. You've got Kumu Mahealani Uchiyama, who will be there, Faith Akko, Steven Espanola, Patrick Landeza. So they will all be there. There will be hula, there will be music. Nice. This will be a wonderful event. It is a sliding scale ticket. So if you wanted to pay $1,000 to go to benefit Maui, you could. If you can afford $5, you could pay that as well. They're hoping to get $30 each from people at the door. It is on, let's see if I can say when it's coming to you.
September something, I think. September.
Doesn't, yeah. Let's see. All ticket proceeds for the evening will go directly to help those affected by the fire on Maui. So everything they make, they're taking nothing for it. And I think Berkeley's Freight and Salvage is going to go ahead and
it's September 3rd.
For free, September 3rd at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And so I'll put the link to this in the chat.
Perfect.
So that you have it. And if you want to go, if you're in the East Bay, or if you want to head over to this, what will be an amazing concert to help benefit Maui, it's a great way here in California we can do something. So,
Good. Yeah, it's a way to help when people feel so helpless, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and you want to help in a way that they need, because again, they do often get inundated with clothes and stuff like that. You really want to donate to some of these organizations that know what people need because they're on the ground. Yeah. Apparently, let's see. I want to give credit where credit is due. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Vicky in Sausalito. She says, I just saw a news flash that Trump will skip the first debate in favor of doing a Tucker Carlson interview.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do.
What the hell? So what do you think people will watch? The guy that's going to probably go to prison? Or somebody, or people that can actually run this country. See, that's what pisses me off about this whole freaking thing. It's like, you're going to waste your time, GOP voters, because I'm not freaking voting for him, to watch him on Tucker Carlson spew his BS, because who knows? Because again, it could still get him in trouble, even if it's not on the debate stage and it's on Tucker Carlson. Or candidates that can talk about issues that can actually run this possibly country. I don't understand it. Now, Tucker Carlson's just on Twitter or X or whatever, right? I mean, he doesn't have a show anymore. So yeah, I don't know, Eric, who's watching that crap. I'm sure as hell not. So
no.
I don't know. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Karen with a great recipe. You can make Hawaiian Spam. You bake it in the oven with a pineapple brown sugar glaze with pineapple slices on top at 350 for 45 minutes. Keep basting. All right.
Serve with sticky white rice and mango.
Karen,
we're coming for dinner. We're
Yes.
coming for dinner. Yes.
I can make that. I mean, all I need is the pineapple.
Oh,
Okay, so since you mentioned food, let's do the Friday food segment. So again,
Okay.
Kim, I did do it. I couldn't decide what I wanted this morning. Now my son baked a coffee crumb cake, but I already did coffee crumb cake.
Yeah.
And so I was talking about this thing that I've been making. I'm not exaggerating. It's Friday. I have had this every day this week. So I'm going to show you my video. It's a little long because I made the whole thing for you guys, but hold on, I got to bring it up. Here we go. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying in the video, I keep saying it's not a zucchini, but it's not, but I keep calling it a zucchini because that's what people do, but it's a squash. So just
Okay.
ignore it. Just ignore the fact that I say zucchini a million freaking times. It's a green summer squash. Here you go. Let's see. Do I have it? Friday food segment. And I am going to be making something again because as I've told you guys, I'm really trying to lay off on the DoorDash and kind of processed foods, although I don't know if this is the healthiest thing. If you look it up on things like MyFitnessPal or something, it's not too bad. It is a vegetable. I'm trying to eat more vegetables. It has a little bit of crunch because it has breadcrumbs, and it's not fried in oil. I'm actually using my air fryer. So if all of that sounds great to you, then you're gonna be excited because 'tis the season for squash. So squash, it's not a zucchini, it's a green squash, summer squash, it's sometimes called. I've been buying these like 3 or 4 at a time because I've been making this almost every day. I will eat this squash in one sitting. This to me is a serving. My head for reference. So what I'm making is fried, because I'm air frying it, fried either zucchini chips or zucchini fries. I think I'm gonna do the chips because it's quicker and easier. The fries are just more of them, so you gotta bread more of them and it can kind of be a pain in the ass. But it's really delicious. You don't need a lot of things. You probably, if you have the air fryer, it only requires 1, 2, 3 ingredients and that's easy peasy, right? Okay, so let's make it. So first things first, you wanna cut, wash. You could keep the skin on or you can kind of, shave it off. I keep it on. I don't think it changes the taste at all, but you want to cut it into kind of circles or chips. You can also kind of quarter it if you want to make fries, and that's easy peasy. Just cut it in half and then just kind of do diagonal and you'll have chips that way. So here's what they look like. Obviously, I leave them kind of thick because I like a bite to it. The other thing you'll need is 1 beaten egg, and then I take these are traditional plain breadcrumbs. I actually like panko, but I didn't read the carton correctly. So these are just plain breadcrumbs. And then what I do is I add some Italian seasoning to it. And then you just kind of mix it together. And it just adds flavor to the breadcrumbs that you're gonna bread your zucchini with. And it just makes it nice and yummy. You can leave them plain. You can use a different seasoning if you want. I just like Italian seasoning. You can buy Italian seasoned panko breadcrumbs that have it all. I'm just out of it. So I use what I have. The other thing I do is I season my zucchini chips with something. I've used Slap Your Mama seasoning, but today I'm using garlic salt. And so I'm just lightly gonna salt both sides of my zucchini, and then it's gonna go into the egg wash, and then I'm gonna press it into the breadcrumbs, and then I'm gonna put it on a plate to go in the air fryer. So this is the air fryer that I use. It comes with a basket like this. And I love this air fryer. I keep it on my counter and it's so easy to use. The thing you need to know about air fryers is you do need to preheat it. So I preheat it for about 5 minutes at the temperature I'm gonna want it at. I'm gonna want it at 400 degrees. So you just hit start, it does it for 5 minutes, and then it's nice and hot. And I do this before I start breading my zucchini, so it's pretty much done when I'm ready to go. My salted zucchini are ready to go. You can use a fork so that your hands can stay clean. And so I just dip it in there and then straight into the breadcrumbs, and you can kind of press it on both sides and just really press it all around, and it's easy peasy. Okay, so here they are all done. It took me pretty much 5 minutes because my air fryer just turned off. So you do want to open the air fryer. It's hot, be careful, and then spray some non-stick spray on the bottom, and then load it up with the zucchini. A quick mention about the zucchini. Some people will say you didn't dunk it in any flour first. Look, I did egg and then breadcrumbs, and the breadcrumbs stay on it. And I do really recommend the panko. Even though this looks delicious, it looks so much better with panko, and it is crispier. So if you're gonna buy the ingredients, buy the Italian panko breadcrumbs. It really is, it gives it a much better crunch. And every single one of my zucchini fit, which sometimes happens, sometimes don't. And then make sure you top with a little bit more of that spray and then stick it in your air fryer. So I do 400 degrees for 8 minutes and then set it and forget it, as they like to say. And I've just been obsessed with having mango for lunch lately. So here it is. We're done with the first round. There's some browning on it. We are going to flip these and put them in for a little bit longer. And don't forget to spray it again with some of that nonstick spray. Okay, so back for, let's do another, I'm going to do 6 minutes. Again, at 400. As that's cooking, we need to work up a dipping sauce. Now, this is what I've been using a lot of, the sriracha mayo and Slap Your Mama seasoning. If you guys have never used it, you hear me mention it all the time. This stuff is good. A little goes a long way. It makes things spicy and salty. So, use it sparingly, but it's hella good. Now, the sriracha mayo, this is just a time saver for me. You can make this on your own. But so I'll mix these two together into a kind of dip. But I just want to show you, this is 60 calories for a tablespoon. So I probably use a couple of tablespoons at least, and that's another 120 calories. Now, I'm not saying it's a ton, but that's just from a dip. And so sometimes I will just use straight up sriracha. Obviously, this is not the sriracha that's been in shortage forever. This is a little more Tabasco-y flavor, but sometimes I'll just drizzle it on a little bit of my zucchini because I like that spice. And for a teaspoon, it's 5. And I mean, again, because I'm just using it straight, I don't need a lot, but it's only 5 calories. So if you're looking at, at your calories and not wanting to waste them on something like dips, this is these are some of the alternatives that I use, but I definitely like to use a dip. You just need it. And I don't think I'm going to have any mango left by the time my zucchini are done cooking. So that is what I ate in one sitting. I mean, look at that. It's so sweet. And to give you an idea, this is 1 tablespoon of the sriracha mayo with a little bit of that Slap Your Mama seasoning in it. Okay, the moment of truth. And there you go. Nice and browned. And there you go. It's really yummy. There's the dipping sauce. And again, I'll drizzle some of the sriracha on some of my pieces. But see how they're nice and brown? The coating stays on it really well. And it's easy. And yeah, there's breadcrumbs, so you have to add those in for the calories, but it's not fried in anything, and it's absolutely delicious. So try it and let me know how it turns out. All right, so there you go. So that's what I tried. Now that was easy enough. Was it or was it not? Right?
It was pretty easy. It was a good little tutorial too. And I like seeing you in the kitchen in a different room. That was fun.
Yeah, honestly though, that doesn't take very long at all. So I think maybe 20 minutes.
The kitchen in your rental house is nice, by the way.
No, it totally got me too.
And that air fryer is nice. Looks nice.
I got that for free. So my best friend, she got it from her mother-in-law, and she's like, I already have this other one. Do you want it? And I was like, hell friggin' yeah. Because I had one. I had another one that my sister-in-law gave me, but it was more of a toaster oven type style.
Okay.
And I just didn't use it as much, and it was really wide. Now this thing is big, but it's kind of tall more than wide, so I can kind of scoot it back. And I love my air fryer. I absolutely love it. I make chicken in it. I just season my chicken thighs and I just throw it in there, and it takes 20 minutes. It's so yummy. Do you have an air fryer?
I have never used it.
Yeah, it's fun and it's easy, and it's they are hairy.
It remains in the box. My mom gave it to me for Christmas. Yeah, she gave it to me for Christmas, and we haven't. My husband said it's too small for our family, so it would take so long to cook everything because I would have to do it in batches.
Yeah.
So we haven't even taken it out of the box. But after I've seen you use it in your kitchen, maybe I will.
Do you think yours is kind of the similar size as mine?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
yours
I
may be
mean,
bigger. I don't know.
I mean, it has a pretty deep basket, and you can make all sorts of things. I mean, I know people that make all kinds of, like, they make desserts in it. Carrot, it is. I mean, it has the crunch of the breadcrumbs because I've
Yeah.
toasted them, but then the inside is nice and soft. And that's why I kind of leave the zucchini thick, because if you do it too thin, they'll literally become like chips. Like, they'll become all, because there's not enough stuff inside of it. So I like to do that. But I make chicken thighs in it all the time, and I just season it and it's good to go. My son absolutely loves it. I've never made bacon. And the other great thing about it, depending on what you're cooking, it's easy to clean. I mean, especially with a basket, I just put the whole basket in there because it's 2 parts. So you could take the top part off with the basket part. And I just soak the whole darn thing in soap and scrub it and put it
Thank
back in.
God. I thought you were going to tell me you put it in the dishwasher. It's plastic, right?
No. No, I think it's, well, the outside's plastic, I would think, but it's metal. Like, it's a metal basket. But no, I don't put it in the dishwasher, and I'm not using my damn saran wrap anymore because they're all freaking all over me about it. It's fine. Even though apparently I'm going to grow a third eye because I've been doing it for 40 some odd years. That's fine. That saran wrap is gonna kill me. I swear to God.
Thank you from my heart to yours for changing your ways on that. You've made me feel so much
I think
better.
of you every friggin' time, though. I'm like, son of a bitch. I can't use my saran wrap now. Get me a bit. I mean, it's something that I grew up doing, and I've never stopped until you freaking got on me about it. So
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah. So give it a shot. I think that that's a pretty healthy lunch. So I will eat that. I'll have my mango. So I had that and a mango yesterday. Sometimes I'll have like turkey and cheese roll-ups to get a little protein in my day. And that's like my meal until dinner. So, and I usually don't eat that until obviously I get off air here and finish doing whatever I have to. So I usually don't eat until maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so, I think it's a pretty nice snack, and it's good. Now, Kim, our friend Kim, was asking about our Taco Bell, my Taco Bell taco thing. Kim did show it, by the way, Kim. I did. She did show it, and it was a 2 thumbs up, by the way. So if you want to try the Taco Bell dipping taco from last Friday, if anyone tried it, pretty good. I only ate one. It was pretty filling, but it does need more meat.
Speaking of your afternoons and all the things you're doing in the afternoon,
yes,
this is going to be day 3 of high school. So we've had 2 days so far. And how is it going? How is it going for you when she comes home? Is she okay? Is she freaking out? What's your experience?
Okay, so what I'm loving is she has a friend that lives right around the corner, and the friend's stepmom has been taking my daughter to school in the morning, and I've been doing pickup on the days that she needs to go back there. So that's really nice. I was really, really worried about the walking on campus thing. Is very it's stressful. As far as school goes, I mean, I don't know about you. The homework's kind of been like either filling out surveys about yourself or something like that. I'm a little nervous about staying up on the assignments, but she hasn't had any yet. And so, but otherwise she seems to have liked her classes and her teachers. Some boy asked for her digits, but she said, no, thank you. So that's what she said. She told him, she's like, no, thank you. But it was funny. He shot a shot and got turned down. But other than that, I think it's going well. My daughter is not an enthusiastic student. So we're just taking it day by day. How about Julia?
Yeah. Well, the homework, they had summer homework. So there was a summer reading assignment. There was a summer biology assignment. So, yeah. So I'm kind of pleased with the homework. It's interesting. She loves her teachers. She's like, this class looks really interesting. It's almost like I sent her to college or something. She's told me all about the biology. She's like, we have to fill out this form for field trips because she said they need to have it on file because sometimes they just feel like today's the day we're going to the Petaluma River to look at stuff. So there's apparently sporadic and random field trips that occur in honors biology. This is cool.
Interesting.
She said, and I've not heard this said about a math teacher before. Sorry, Lori, but she said, I really think my math teacher is cool. She said he treats us like grown-ups. She said, instead of having, because in 8th grade, if you were even an hour late turning in your math assignment, you were penalized. And I get what they were trying to do is teach them the rules, teach them, you're coming to the big time.
Yeah,
you need to start following. Well, this man says, listen, you're going to have an assignment every day. I don't need the assignment till right before the practice test. If you want to wait till the day of the practice test to do all the assignments, you're going to be in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
But they won't be marked late if that's the day you turn them all in.
Wow.
So it's up to you to manage your own time and get this done. And I would advise you to turn them in when they're due so that you space them out. But I won't mark them late until the practice test. And she's like, "Oh, he's treating me like a grown-up. This is
there
the best."
you go.
And I'm like, "Listen, don't let yourself get behind. This you're gonna be in a lot of trouble here." But so she likes it, and the English teacher she likes. So I'm delighted that academically she seems to be happy.
Well, that's good.
However, in the friendship department,
oh no,
she doesn't have a friend group. She has for people that she knows that are friends, but she feels like she doesn't have a friend group.
So who did she eat lunch with? Like what? Like did you ask? Like where are you sitting for lunch? That's always my question. Like where did you eat lunch and who did you eat? I always ask that. It's the only question I get an answer on.
So she went downtown after school the first day, and she went with a girl from band and that girl's friends. And I said, and she said they're stoners. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them to fall in with the wrong crowd on the first day of high school. And so I was like, oh no, this is not the right group. But of course, the more I say it, the more she's going to want to hang out with them.
Of course.
So I feel like the friend group thing is going to be an issue, and it'll probably take a couple months for her to find her people
that
and
breaks my heart,
find her way. I know. She's not alone though. She knows people. So it's just a matter of
you need to find your people though.
Exactly. So that's going to be her issue and trying to figure out where she fits in.
Yeah. I mean, my daughter has, like I've mentioned, she has a core group of friends that she can always hang out with. But again, I feel like with my son specifically, so my son's in 7th grade and his first day was yesterday, and he's stoked about school and he likes his teachers and, some past teachers that my daughter had that he has this year. He's like, you were lying. That teacher's good, or that class is awesome or whatever. Yeah. So I think he's doing good, but my son he's kind of a floater. He always has been. I mean, I remember all the way back to 2nd grade, the teachers being like, I don't know about Dylan. Like he'll come into the classroom sometimes at lunch. He'll be hanging out. He'll be drawn by himself in the corner. He'll be playing on the playground. I don't worry too much. But as far as my daughter, apparently one of her teachers is hot. So that's all I've heard about.
Oh, like a young male teacher?
Well, that's what I asked. I'm like, well, how old is this
Is he a
teacher?
silver fox? What do we have going on here?
Well, she says, and I was like, is he young or is he old?
Oh,
and
Marley.
I'm like, is he old like daddy? And she's like, I think he's probably in his like late 30s or 40s. And I'm like, nah. But it's not his fault. He's an attractive man in high school with, pubescent teenage girls. So, but I was surprised. He must be hot because I have never heard my daughter call anybody cute besides like Harry Styles.
He must be really good looking.
He must be really good. Like everyone like, oh God, he must be hot then. I'm going to Google this dude. I got to find out his name.
Parent-teacher conference coming up right now.
Yeah, back to school. I'll be like, but yeah, so apparently this teacher is hot. But other than that, she seems to like her teachers. But again, it's attitude that I really have to work with my daughter on. It was like time management.
Okay, we need to have a Zoom.
Yeah.
Because I have my niece that's like, she's crazy smart, and she has developed this system, this organizational high school system. It's a single binder system.
Okay.
And she took Julia to Staples. They bought a binder. She explained the system. This is how you keep track of your assignments. Here's where, this is great. From a kid that's going through it right now and has figured out a way to manage all this. So if you would like to learn the system, then let me know and I'll set up a tutorial with Ashlyn.
I would love it. I feel like I would get the biggest rolling of the eyes from my teenage daughter. So we'll have to see. But that's all it is. It's organization. And I here's the other thing, Kim, and we'll get to headlines before Tim Sika, but how much of a role are you playing in making sure that your child is organized? Are you checking the backpack every day? Are you checking the assignments every day? See, I am, because my daughter, okay. And this is why, because my daughter's 8th grade was really stunted because of all of her health issues. And so she fell behind. A lot of accommodations were made for her because of it. And so I feel like that bridge of you're in 8th grade now, you need to start handling these things on your own, kind of fell by the wayside because she was given so much leeway because she missed so much school. So she came home the past couple of days. And I'm like, let me check your backpack. And she's like, Mom, I'm in high school. And I'm like, I don't care. Let me check and and again, it's because we don't have the school supply list yet. So we're doing that this weekend and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, I need to set you up kind of what your niece or whatever was talking about. I need to set you up. And yes, she did better at the beginning of the school year last year before her health issue when I was checking. And so I don't know if I want to do it all year, but I am still doing it because.
So when I say I'm not checking, I will say there's this program that the school district uses called Aries. I don't know if you have one of these.
We have that too. Yeah.
So you can go in and you can see what's been assigned and what's turned in, and you can monitor their progress, and you're looking at all their grades.
And that's what I've been doing too.
They said at the parent orientation, hey, you guys, you people, don't check
you people.
You people. Hey, you parent people, don't check Aries every day. Because the teachers haven't had a chance to enter it in every day. It'll drive you nuts, whatever. I'm like a 5 times a day Aries checker.
Oh, me too.
I'm in there. I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? Has anything been updated? Yeah.
Well, kids lie. They lie about their assignments, right? They're like, oh, yeah, I don't have any homework. You're like, my ass, you don't have any homework. What about this? And I don't care. Like, I don't. If she gets mad at me, like, what else? I can speak and she's mad at me. So I could give 2 rats butts if she's mad at me about checking the homework. Like, nah.
But she said, I'm not doing Ashland's organizational system, Mom. I can handle it myself. Then her cousin comes to get her to take her to Staples, and she comes home. She's like, I'm doing Ashland's organization
There
system.
You go. Well, I think I definitely want to learn about Ashland's organizational system because then maybe I can have it trickle down. But Kim makes a good point. She's like, a teenager guiding a teenager will get better results than Mom telling her what to do. You're absolutely right. If I could get her on a Zoom, which I know, again, she has my eye rolling gene. And I know damn well if I'm like, look, Kim knows this girl. She's a teenager. She has the system. Marley will be like, no, I can hear it already. No, not doing it.
But you know why? It's because they don't know each other and they feel awkward.
Yeah.
And then the minute they get on Zoom, they realize it's not so awkward. And then they're like, oh, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, exactly. And so we'll see how it goes. We're going to be talking about high school. Kim and I are in the thick of it right now. Our firstborns. We're fresh.
I hear you, Natalie.
Moms, right? I've never been the parent. This is what I tell my kids all the time. Whatever stage you're at, especially my daughter, obviously, I've never done this before. I'm always honest. I'm like, I've never parented a 14-year-old girl starting high school before. So forgive me if I don't know what the hell I'm doing and I'm winging it. Like we're winging it. There's no book. We got to figure it out, Lori says once a week for results. You should be able to check every day for the current assignment. That's what I'm doing. I mean, as far as grades go, I understand that teachers can't put them in real time, but assignments, I love the fact that I could be like, you have this thing coming up. And I just bought her a planner to write her assignments in because she doesn't get one in high school. She got one in middle school that had the whole planner thing. So I want her to constantly be writing in it to remind herself to do it.
Eric, you have to sign up for everything. That's what I'm saying. Parent Square is a pain in the ass, but you have to sign up.
I got Aries. I got Canvas. I got Aries. I got Parent Square. I got all kinds of crap. And you know what? I'm all about it. Give me the information so that I know what the hell I am doing. Natalie says you have to give your teens room to be autonomous and learn from their own mistakes. They need support and check-ins before they're at the point of no return, but not daily nagging. I know, but I'm a nagger. I totally am. I'm the biggest nagger. I know that it's wrong. You're
Get ahead of it. Get ahead of it. I did all summer. I was like, okay, you got this biology assignment. Don't leave it till the day before school. Don't do it. What happened? Night before freshman year starts. I'm taking the biology quiz. Okay. All right.
Yep, exactly. Well, my daughter, and again, math is one of her subjects that she has struggled in. So she's in outside tutoring, which they raise their rates for high school. My God, it's so expensive, but she's making a lot of strides, but they're offering a test to move up in this math. And my daughter, I'm like, why don't you take it? Doesn't want to take it. She's like, I'm not ready for it. She doesn't feel like she's ready for it. And I'm like, okay, but there's no harm in taking it. It's not like you're going to get dinged. It's just you either pass or you don't pass, and it doesn't matter. She doesn't want to do it. And so then what do you do there? Right? Like, I don't want to force her to take a test if she doesn't want to take it. These are the questions that I just don't know what to do with because I've never done this before. On the other hand, I would look at my son. See, the 2 different kids. My son might be worried about it, but he'll be like, yeah, what's there to lose? My daughter's like, no, I don't want the rejection. If I don't pass it, I don't want to be told. Kind of, that's what I think her mentality is.
I would always think like, the worst that could happen is you're in the same class you're in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So there is nothing to lose, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. John says, I love this, John. He says, you've been a 14-year-old girl starting high school. You've got lots of experience. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I was a 14-year-old girl and I effed around and found out in high school and was not the best student. So I do not think that going back to those days are the best, idea of gathering what I should be doing. And yes, Khan Academy is a great place, except my daughter does not do well on online learning. We learned this during COVID.
Oh.
She needs human to human. She needs it. She's tactile. I need a paper, pen, not computer, especially with math. Like that's the way she learns. I've learned that from her. So no, we don't do online learning. We don't.
Khan Academy is such a valuable resource.
It's so
in this
good.
house.
Yes. I mean, if she needs help, like on to kind of get a refresher and she's not at tutoring, yes, but I would not use that solely as her tutoring, unfortunately.
Brian says, hint from my experience, pick your battles carefully and let go of the rest.
I try.
We needed the reminder, Brian. Thank you very much.
I know. Again.
Oh, Heather says, even just sitting for a test is stressful. If her heart isn't in it, there's no point pushing her. Yeah.
No, I'm not. And I'm letting her go because again, she's in the math and she has struggled. Now, again, because of last year and she's doing so much better in math because she's been outside tutoring. She took tutoring during the summer. So I don't want to give her anything where she's like, damn it, I'm not good enough. So I don't want to kind of interrupt that either. But if it was my son, I'd be like, take it. Who cares? But different kid,
Yeah.
JT says, leave them to their own decisions about schoolwork. They have teachers guiding them in their own motivation or lack thereof. It is what it is. This is how they grow up. I know. I know all these things intellectually, people. I understand this. And then I'm in the moment. And then I'm seeing her on the phone or I'm seeing her, just laying on the couch. And I'm like, get your ass up because I know you have 50 million assignments. That's the way my mind works. I'm just being honest.
I don't know if it would help us, Kay in Santa Rosa. I don't know if we all need the organization system. This is this is for students. Most of us aren't students anymore, but
well, maybe she could just record a video and she could, maybe she could set up her own kind of little side job of teaching people how to do their own organizational system if it works so much, right?
She is a tutor. She tutors kids in math and science. And so, she does tutoring. She's pretty good at teaching people how to do things.
I love that. I love it. I mean, it's just so much. Lori says, I'm losing it. What is the additional class you could take starting in middle school and into high school, which gives study skills, note taking? I don't know. Is there an additional class you could take? Maybe I have not heard of it between Marley's middle school and high school. I mean there are like online things, but
wouldn't it just be called study skills?
Yeah, but my school, the school didn't offer that. No. I would love it. Oh, she says it's Avid. I've never heard of Avid.
Me neither. I signed Julia up for something on OutSchool. She has test taking anxiety.
Right.
So she studies really hard. She can do well on everything else. She knows all the material, but the minute she sits down to take a test, she's like, it doesn't come to her. She has such stress that she doesn't get it. So I signed her up for a test taking how to overcome that anxiety kind of class, and also an organizational study skills thing.
I think we did it too after you had told me about it, but that was last year, so I think I might have the kids re-up it. And no, Lori, you're the first person I've heard that's ever mentioned that. And Natalie, yes, there's an Avid program offered at the school. Perfect. So maybe I'll look into that in high schools and see because again, it's so much. They're at this age, they're puberty's going on, people in class, their social life is so important at a time when it's also important to be on the books, because this is the time that matters. If you want to go to college, and I don't know what algorithm, Kim, that I tipped off, but Instagram will not stop showing me videos for scholarships. So I did one freaking Google search. That's Google and the internet for you. I did one Google search because we were talking about scholarships, and actually I was looking at high school scholarships because high school is very, very expensive. We're saving for college, but my son's like, well, can I get a scholarship for high school? And I'm like, I imagine you could. And so I Googled
to go to a private
high school. Yeah.
Okay.
To go to a private high school. And I was like, I think so. I don't know. And so I Googled it. Now
Oh no.
My feed is filled. Scholarships, which is giving me friggin' anxiety. I'm like, Jesus, Lord Almighty, can you lay off a little bit? But you could start now. Honestly, you could start in middle school. You could start in high school, racking up that money to save for college. So there you go. All right. Let's see. You know what I wanted to talk? Well, let's do some headlines, Kim, because we have Tim Sika that's going to be coming on. And then if we have time with Tim Sika, I want to, there was a lot of you that were commenting on the shows that you're watching right now, which I always find to be fun in addition to Tim Sika talking about the movies and stuff, because I don't know about you, but I pay a lot for streaming, and I want to know if there's good shows that I'm missing out on. So let me know in the comments. And if we have time before or after Tim Sika, we'll give some of your guys' suggestions. Also, please click the thumbs up button to show your support of the show. We love it. YouTube loves it. It helps us out so much. And here's Kim with some headlines.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Oh, let's begin here, why don't we, with former Attorney General Bill Barr, who is rejecting the argument that it is unfair to try Donald Trump in court while he is running for president. Defenders of the former president say the proposed trial dates for Trump's January 6th related federal case and for the most recent Georgia case would conflict with the 2024 GOP nomination schedule. On Fox News Thursday, Barr rejected that argument. He said, "You don't get immunity for 2 years just by saying you're a candidate, not the way it works." So, okay, interesting. Barr seems to have kind of done an about face, changed his tune.
Yeah, but again, the fact that he would still vote for Trump is all I need to know. So, you know what?
Is that what he said? He said he'd still vote for him?
He says that he would still vote for Trump. And I'm like, well, then that shows your true colors, man. Yeah.
Oh, this is not. I didn't know that. Yeah. Let's talk about current president, the current sitting president, Joe Biden, because he will meet today at Camp David with leaders from Japan and South Korea. White House officials say both countries and the United States will make a pledge at the summit to consult with each other in moments of crisis. So if there's a crisis with China or North Korea, the president of the United States will sit with Japan and South Korea, chit-chat for a second about the way to respond. Interesting. Members of the Alabama NAACP are now calling on Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville. Let me take down the president. They want him to release his hold on military promotions. To date, Tuberville has blocked some 300 Pentagon promotions in protest of the Department of Defense's policy of providing paid leave and travel expenses for abortion care. Okay, so the group's state president is calling Tuberville the laughing stock of the U.S. Senate, and they're saying, knock it off. There is a Georgia teacher out of a job after reading a book about gender identity to her 5th grade students. Her name is Katie Rinderly. She read this book called My Shadow is Purple and had students write a poem about it, a violation, I guess, of a new Georgia law, the Divisive Concept Law, which gives parents input over what's taught in the classroom. Well, several liberal groups are behind Rinderly, but the district says people should consider the entirety of the teacher's behavior and history. So I don't know. Maybe she has a history of teaching kids about gender identity and new ideas.
Right.
Imagine that.
Yeah, exactly.
This story fascinates me. There's been the remains of a young medieval girl found, seemingly buried face down with her ankles tied together. I don't know how they know so much about her, but the Museum of London Archaeology says this is a corpse of a 15-year-old girl. How they know she was exactly 15 years old, I don't know. But it was in this position, face down, legs tied together, suggesting those who buried her were taking steps to make sure she couldn't return from the grave.
Oh, great. They've released her soul. This is the start of a horror movie. Thank you.
I guess.
Okay.
Here, this is right up your alley. It seems that that her being buried face down is a sign of her being treated as other than what was considered normal at that time. Maybe it was done by someone who didn't like her and just tossed her in, and however she landed, she landed. I don't know.
Interesting. I mean, I don't understand, like, Why would they have to tie her feet together? You know what I mean? Like, why would they have to do that?
I don't know. It's very strange. But
And this was how long ago? I mean, do they know how long ago this happened to her?
Medieval is all it says. It doesn't give me the year. Medieval.
Maybe she was a witch. You know what I mean? Maybe she was a witch.
Yeah, or they thought she was. Or she did something horrible to someone, and she was a prisoner, so she was tied up. I mean, I don't know. But apparently they think it was all about a burial, right.
Wow.
She was buried that way so she couldn't come running after you.
Interesting.
Oh. The third-party sellers on Amazon who ship their own packages will soon have to pay an additional fee. Starting October 1st, members of Amazon's Seller Fulfilled Prime program will pay the company a 2% fee on 2% fee on each product sold if they don't pay for the company's fulfillment services. So if you don't use Amazon to send and ship your stuff, then you're going to pay an Amazon fee.
Oh, okay.
They're going to get you one way or the other. Say you use, I don't know, FedEx to send your package. Amazon doesn't like that. They want you to use their stuff. They want to make money coming and going. And if you don't subscribe to their system, they're going to get their money from you anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, they're allowed to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to use them either. So.
And lastly, marijuana and hallucinogen use are at record highs.
Of course it is. People don't want to be in this reality at all. That's why.
Hell on, take me away.
Exactly.
The survey funded by the National Institute on Drug Abuse showed marijuana use has spiked to about 44% of adults under 30 compared to 28% a decade ago. So 28% 10 years ago, 44% now. 44% of people under 30, adults under 30, so from 18 to 30, they're using marijuana. All right. Okay.
I mean, but no, I mean, like marijuana to me doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Hallucinogenics, yes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's all at record highs. People are trying to escape reality.
People do drugs. And that's the whole thing. Whenever we talk about fentanyl, opioids, marijuana, alcohol, the truth of the matter is people like being high. And sometimes it doesn't work out for people, but there is definitely a market for it. So there you go.
The Nikki Medoro Show is crowdfunded, which means we do rely on you. Find us at thenikkimedoroshow.com. Patreon link, PayPal link, all laid out for you there. You can also find the podcast information and the information if you would like one of those fine tote bags you see behind Nikki. The merchandise website is there as well. It's a one-stop shop at thenikkimedoroshow.com. And thank you for all the ways you support the show. I'm Kim McAllister on the Nikki Medoro Show.
Thank you, Kim. All right, well, let us know in the comments what you are watching and streaming as well, because right now we have the expert in what to watch this weekend. Of course, that is our friend, Tim Sika. Hello, Tim.
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Kim. You know what Harry Truman said about experts? You know what he said? He said, an expert is a person who's afraid to learn anything new because then they wouldn't be an expert anymore.
Well, we love it that you're an expert in movies.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I like to consider myself as an expert, but thank you for the compliment. I'll take it as a compliment.
Perfect. Okay, so a lot to watch. Hold on. I'm trying to bring up my movie screens for you. So we have a bunch of movies that need to be watched. One of them, I have not seen one, and maybe it's just because I've been watching streaming services and maybe they just don't show these sorts of things. Blue Beetle. I have not heard of this. I've never even, is this a superhero thing? I have no idea.
Yeah, I had never heard of it either because I don't really read those comic books, but apparently it's a popular comic book in the DCU. I was going to say DC universe, but DCU is for universe. So the universe, saying universe is redundant. Anyway, it's another DC superhero movie, the 14th, I think.
Oh, wow.
In the DCU. Marvel's ahead in this game with 30 plus comic movies.
Wow.
That's almost 50 of these movies in total having been made. So to a certain extent, superhero fatigue has set in with me some time ago. But now we have Blue Beetle, which is a Mexican-American superhero saga about this guy named Jaime Reyes. He's a young man who's just graduated from law school, but who suddenly finds himself in possession of this ancient relic of alien biotechnology called the Scarab, right? Which chooses him to be its symbiotic host which gives him all kinds of unpredictable superpowers and super strength, and in this incredible suit of armor, which turns him into the superhero Blue Beetle. And I know, right? Well, yeah, who writes these things? But I found this to be great fun. I think I liked it mostly because the cast was all Latino, which was really refreshing. Its cultural ethos and ethnicity, I think, was something that was actually needed to infuse a bit of life into these superhero movies. Yeah, and all Mexican-American cast, except for Susan Sarandon, the latest big star and Oscar winner to appear in a superhero franchise. And in Blue Beetle, she plays this like Cruella de Vil by way of a Kim Kardashian type of evil corporate CEO who is also in hot pursuit of the Scarab for, you guessed it, her own nefarious purposes. But I enjoyed it. It wasn't overkill. It wasn't overlong. Xolo Maridueña, an actor I'm seeing for the first time here. He's in TV's Cobra Kai, which I haven't seen.
Okay.
He plays the lead. He plays Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle. He's a very appealing young actor. George Lopez is in this too. He's always funny. He plays the uncle of this close-knit Mexican-American family. In the final 15 minutes, a thing invariably all these superhero movies resort to, which is this big kill or be killed action sequence. Admittedly, that got a little fatiguing. But overall, I think fans will enjoy this. I think they'll certainly get what they came for. And I also found this too to be, in addition to checking off all the superhero comic book boxes, a kind of sweet celebration of family. There was a tad more authentic than family is portrayed in all of those Fast and Furious movies. Anyway, Blue Beetle. It's fun. It's fun.
Well, that's a kind of different type of superhero type of movie. Although I do think, the whole beetle thing's a little weird, but okay, we'll give it a shot.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, it's a scarab, I guess, which is a kind of a beetle.
The technicalities, we'll just call it a beetle.
Yeah,
right?
look, they can't call it blue scarab because that doesn't
there you
have
go.
any alliteration at all.
I mean, if you have a spider and you got a bat, you got it. What's wrong with a beetle, right?
There you go. There you go. All right, this next one looks like it might be a tearjerker. The Eternal Memory.
This is one of the best, most moving, most affecting documentaries about Alzheimer's I've ever seen. I mean, when you think of Alzheimer's, you go, I don't want to subject myself to this. But in addition to just being an emotional and profound movie, it's a beautiful love story. It's a Chilean film about this couple. Apparently, this very famous couple in Chile, journalist Augusto Góngora and actress Paulina Urrutia, who have been together for 23 years. 8 years ago, Augusto was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And since then, Paulina has been taking care of him. And that's the Eternal Memory. It's a sort of on the fly documentary. There's no narration, just intimate scenes alone and together of these two people filmed and put together in such a way as we're like flies on the wall, experiencing what Augusto and Paulina are doing to maintain his identity despite the challenges of his illness. I should also mention that when he was a journalist and TV personality, Augusto was one of those brave journalists who clandestinely documented the atrocities of the Pinochet dictatorship in Chile when the Chilean mainstream media wasn't covering what was actually going on in that country. So that's a thread running through the film, and it's just excellent. I can't recommend it enough. And again, a beautiful love story, beautifully filmed, beautifully directed, and it's about memory, and the role of memory in people's lives, not as a thing that keeps people rooted to the past, but as something which assists us in defining our identity, not only who we are, but our relationship to the past as well, which can serve as a bridge to who we are today and what we've done and where the future may take us. It's a 5-hanky movie too, and we know who loves a good cry on the Nikki Medoro Show. Yeah.
And this is in theaters, correct?
In theaters, yeah.
Oh, that sounds so good.
It's beautiful, beautiful.
And so many people, just on a side note, Alzheimer's, it's the number of cases and the strides in trying to find kind of a cure for it has been in the headlines so much. So I know a movie like this.
Yeah.
My sister mother-in-law. Her mother's going through it, and it's really a devastating disease. But this sounds like a really good movie.
Well, and you know that poster too. That poster perfectly epitomizes the feel you walk away from with this movie. Yeah, it's a beautiful movie. Beautiful.
All right, the next one we have on our list, landscape with an invisible hand. With invisible hand.
What is that?
I was gonna say, look at that thing, right? Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah,
looks like a crab with boobs.
Thank you. Now all I see is boobs. Thanks, Kim.
Well,
everything.
You see boobs, you see what could be penises, and but by the way, penises is going to play a role in one of the movies we're going to talk about. But anyway, later. Anyway, landscape with invisible hand. It's a boy. This is like Weirdsville. This is a science fiction comedy drama satire, I think, based on this 2017 novel by M.T. Anderson, who writes children's books and YA novels. I don't know if this is a children's movie or a young adult movie either. It's directed by New York playwright Corey Finley, who's only made 2 films prior to this, the black comedy Thoroughbreds, which I highly recommend, and the true crime drama Bad Education for HBO, starring Hugh Jackman, which I also highly recommend. Anyway, his latest, come on. Look at that poster. This is a weird movie. It takes place in the very near future, the next 10 or 15 years. The title refers to a painting, by the way, called Landscape with Invisible Hand, which figures into the story. The whole film, in fact, is punctuated by paintings that usually presage an event. Anyway, the story takes place in the very near future. The plot's a real challenge to encapsulate. Okay, where planet Earth has been invaded and taken over by an alien species called the Vuv, which look like...
Is that what that is?
Yeah, these foot-high quadrangle blobs that rub their arms together before they speak. You know, they control the economy, they make the laws. A lot of the Earth people are struggling to make ends meet. And so this artist teenager and his girlfriend, they decide to take part in this thing that the Vuv devised. The Vuv are asexual, by the way, and they don't understand the concept of love or mating or romance. So they've invented this thing called the courtship broadcasts, where Earth inhabitants, should they wish to participate, can broadcast their dating and love life for the Vuv and make money by doing it. I mean, is that weird or what? I think the Truman Show or like Ed TV, you know, where everything you do is actually being watched by an amorphous mass of people. Or only in this case, it's these things that we're looking at right now. I told you this movie was weird, and the weirdness actually culminates in a marriage between the mother of the teenage artist, played by Tiffany Haddish, by the way, who's always great.
I love her, yeah.
The weirdness culminates in a marriage between Tiffany Haddish and one of these Vuvs. Anyway, I think this is a satire.
You don't even know, because I don't know what it is. Okay,
but this is what's cool about it. I think it's a mess of a movie, and it kind of falls apart in the third act, but it's so different. In some ways, it's so original and weird and funny and strange and bizarre that I can't help but recommend it. Because I was actually riveted, going, what is this about?
Is this weird? Like Biodome was weird to you?
No, it's weird in a different way. That's a different weird. I don't think the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, but there are enough moments that keep you interested enough to stick with it. So for a very weird time at the movies, I mean, the Landscape with Invisible Hand is this week's ticket to Bizarro World. Really.
Yeah.
All
right. If anybody watches it, you guys have to let us know if you watch this weird ass movie, because
no, it's not weird like Biodome. I know you didn't like that. Yeah.
Again, though, because of what you said, I watched Biodome. I wasn't bored. I did not like the ending at all. But yeah. Okay. If you're into something weird.
You didn't like what they did with the gender politics in that movie?
I did, but I didn't like how they ended the movie. I thought that
ruined it for you.
I didn't like it.
That can happen. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't like movies where I'm confused. And like this looks like one of those where I just look at like, what is happening the whole time? And so that's not enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
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 Well,
You don't want to overthink it, right? You just want to
just watch it. Exactly.
Just watch it. Yeah, I hear you.
All right, we're gonna end with one that I actually do want to see because I have seen the previews for this, and this is Strays, and it looks like it's gonna be so funny. Was it? Oh really? Oh, I'm bummed.
Well, no. I mean, yeah. Oh God.
Will
Okay,
Ferrell
all right.
and Jamie Foxx. That
Thank
should
you.
be great.
Yes,
the people behind Cocaine Bear and 21 Jump Street. I mean, how are we going wrong with this, Tim Sika?
Well, okay, let me say this is a profane and vulgar comedy. This
My
is
kind
not,
of tea, right here.
This
There you
is
go.
okay, your cup of tea. This is not a movie for kids, by the way. Do not really. I never say
It's
this. to
rated
people.
R.
I never say this to people with kids because I don't know the kids, but I would never take my kids to see this. Maybe if they were like 15, maybe I don't even know. Anyway,
Wow.
it's about a dog named Reggie, voiced by Will Ferrell, who realizes one day that he was so mistreated by his human owner, played by Will Forte, that he decides, with the help of these 3 other stray dog pals of his he meets up when he's abandoned on the streets, to go back to his former owner's house and bite off his penis.
Oh.
I think I just enticed somebody into seeing this movie.
I think Nikki's a taker.
I will totally watch this movie.
Well, you know what? Well, that's the plot of what is basically. Yeah, I know. It sounds funny. It really does. It sounds funny. It's basically a one-joke premise. It's stretched out to 90 minutes.
Okay.
It's this cadre of canines using the F-bomb, peeing all over the place, pooping all over the place, humping statues, eating each other's vomit, mauling and ripping to shreds a family of cute rabbits after having eaten a bunch of mushrooms. I lost count of how many times these dogs use the F-bomb or refer to their own penises, come to think of it.
Wow. Well, maybe I'll stream it. I definitely won't pay money for it.
Well, it's one of those movies where you get it all from watching the trailer, and when you're watching the actual movie, you get it all within the first 10 to 15 minutes. I kind of was I actually was thinking of leaving, thinking, oh, I kind of got this, but I wanted to see if the guy gets his penis bitten off. And
That's what we're all waiting for, Tim, obviously.
Well,
with this
okay,
movie.
all right. The spoiler alert.
Oh,
he went away. Did
You
it
did a-
happen? Did it not
Tim,
happen?
I know. I swear to God. He's all spoiler alert. And there you are. You're back. Tim, are you there?
What? Yes, I'm here.
Oh, no, you said spoiler alert, and then we lost you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, all right. Okay. All right. Spoiler alert. He does get his penis bitten off.
Okay, so there you go.
And you know what? I didn't mind any of this outright profanity and obscenity. I just wish I had found it funny. I saw it with the crowd, and only like a portion of the crowd was like getting into it. They were giggling it, but the way they were doing it, it should have been laugh out loud, and it wasn't. I just don't think it's that good of a film. Most of the jokes fell flat, and if a comedy isn't working, it's such a slog. And unfunny comedies are more boring to me than bad dramas.
Yes.
But I suppose it does for dogs with that Mark Wahlberg, Seth MacFarlane comedy Ted did for stuffed teddy bears. Remember that movie Ted?
I did. I found Ted funny. The first one I found funny.
I found Ted funny too. Well, that was smarter. I think Seth MacFarlane is a pretty smart guy, but I don't know. Maybe it will make people who mistreat their animals think twice before ever doing it again.
Bite your pito off. There you go.
Oh God, yes. And
all right.
Yeah. And it can't be. And unfortunately, he survives it, but it can't be reattached. I just gave away the movie. Hey, come on.
I mean, you wonder, like in the meeting when they were talking about making this movie, how this sounded like a good idea.
It probably sounded really funny. I mean, to me it sounded funny, but it just they talk so fast, you don't get all the dialogue. It's like it's almost like they phoned it in, thinking that the obscenity of it would be enough to carry over to laughs, but it wasn't. It just, to me, it wasn't that funny. I giggled once or twice, but overall I kept thinking, my God, this is so bad, Anyway.
Eric doesn't find Will Ferrell to be funny at all. I think Will Ferrell is funny. I don't think everything he does. Anchorman. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that I find Will Ferrell to be funny.
Elf.
He's good in Elf. Yeah.
Oh, you're an angry elf.
Well, you don't see, but you don't see Will Ferrell because he voices the dogs are all there. It's a combination of live dogs and then they do a CGI when they speak and everything.
Okay.
So
I think maybe a good rule of thumb is avoid any movie that includes talking animals.
Really? I mean, I think that there can be some funny sort of things. I mean, I guess you didn't see talking stuffed bear, which was Ted, which I found to be funny, and he was crass and all that sort of thing. Yeah, it has to be done properly, and apparently Strays not done properly according to Tim Sika. So we'll give it a thumbs down.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you know what? 3 out of 4. I'm reckoning.
That's what I was going to say. 3 out of 4. So we had a Blue Beetle, thumbs up. Landscape with Invisible Hand, weird. Tim says it is weird, but he liked it. It's The Eternal Memory, tearjerker. So of course I will love it. And then Strays, watch at your own risk. And if you heard his review, then you know what the movie's completely about. So there you go. All right, my friend. Thank you so very much. We will talk about all the movies next week. Bye bye.
All right. Looking forward to it. Bye bye. Have a good one.
Bye, Tim Sika.
Yeah, I just love him. Yeah, I'm disappointed by Strays. Okay, so before we go, I want to. There's other things to watch and stream. A lot of people don't think that dog humping is funny. I don't. I do think that it could have been funny. But so here are some of the things. I'm going to go down the list, Kim. You tell me if you've watched any of these. Suits. I've never watched Suits. That's the show that Meghan Markle started on.
Yeah, and I guess it's shot to like #1 in streaming. People are picking up on it.
Yeah, I never watched it. It's about lawyers, I'm assuming, right? I think it's about lawyers.
Yeah, I don't.
Like I've never seen it, but apparently people are obsessed with that right now. Borderlands?
No.
I've never heard that. I don't know if it's Borderlands 2 because somebody put a 2 in there. I've never seen that. I was just going to Google it. Borderlands. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. It's there's a video game of it. Maybe they're talking about a video game or a film, but somebody mentioned Borderlands in the comments. Oh, and I did just watch this yesterday. If you guys are looking for a reality TV show to watch, and I like my cooking shows, Master Chef, I think it's called TV Stars or not All Stars, but Stars. So it was the finale was yesterday. I'm not going to give it away, but the person that I wanted to won. Anybody that saw MasterChef Stars, the other 2, there was one that I found very, very annoying, and she had the colored hair. I was rooting against her the entire time, but the person that won, I'm stoked about. I would actually try the investment. They got like $250,000 from Gordon Ramsay. So that was really cool. So that was really cool. I haven't heard of Lioness. So I have no idea about that, but that was mentioned. And then I have mentioned this one, Painkiller. And I'm glad that we're ending with this. It's on Hulu. It's about the opioid fentanyl crisis with Purdue and the Sackler family. I keep getting tweeted at or X'd at. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to say now. From people that want to talk about how the pendulum has swung too far regarding the use of opioids away from people that actually need it because they have chronic, really intense pain.
Right.
I don't know how, and if anybody is listening or listening on replay, I have reached out to so many organizations, drug organizations, pain organizations. I always just get, we have a statement, we have a report to look at. If you know somebody, either that is suffering from chronic pain, is a doctor of pain management, send them my way. I have sent out numerous emails and press requests. Either I don't hear back or I only get like a statement or a website to look at. And that's obviously not what I'm looking for. So if you guys can let me know, the Nikki Medoro Show at gmail.com. I am trying to bring this other perspective because I do feel like we have heard the anti-opioid, overprescribed narrative. Because I do think it's true in that sense, but I want to talk about the other side. I want to talk to people that have chronic pain. What is it like? What are you hearing from your doctors? If you're a doctor, I've read so many articles of doctors facing charges because they were accused of overprescribing pain medication. But again, I reach out to these people and either I can't get any sort of response, or again, I'm sent to a website that has their statement about it. That's not what I'm looking for. So if you guys know anybody, send them my way, please, because I would love to give that person some airtime and hear that perspective. Absolutely. Okay, click the thumbs up button. It shows your support of the show. We really do appreciate it. I have to give a lot of thank yous though right now, real quickly. A lot of people donating to our super chat. Harry starts us off with a happy Friday and a $5 donation. Thank you so much. Beth, $10 super sticker in
Thank
our
you, Beth.
super chat. Thank you, Beth. We always appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hula Steph, I love seeing you in there. Thank you so much. Aloha, and a $5 super sticker from you. Joe Fong, thank you. Thank you. $10 our way with a super sticker. And then Luis with a $10 super sticker as well. We appreciate you so very much. You guys, I have put in the channel section of this channel links to the Mark Thompson show, and then that you go right now. Kim's going to slide on over there, join Mark Thompson, and then she's going to slide on over to the After Party Live at 1 o'clock with John Daly. So make sure you keep it tuned right here. You don't have to leave YouTube. We have it all right here, right now, on YouTube. So we love you. We will see you on Monday. I will be here. Kim will be here. So many people to thank. I appreciate you all for being here. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much. Go to thenikkimedoroshow.com. Please sign up to become a Medorable. Keep us doing the show each and every day for you guys, because that's what we love to do. Have a fabulous weekend. Try my zucchini chips. Get yourself an air fryer. We love you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're proud, like a beautiful person. You're all so the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.